On to the climate crisis now. From extreme heat in the summer to icy winters, Montrealers are living the effects of the climate crisis. Many voters feel the urgency and want action. Over to Alicia now with a question about that.
Joachim Le Garec lives near the water in Cartierville. He wants to know what can be done to mitigate the effects of spring flooding.
Good evening. In 2017 and 2019, whole neighborhoods of Montreal have been hit by major flooding. The reality of climate change means that not only those events will be more frequent, but they will also be more intense. What are your plans to address the legitimate anxiety of citizens, as this is a question of safety, financial impact, and mental health for us all?
Mr. Le Garec, thank you very much for your question. Candidates, you now have a minute each to respond. Mr. Holness, you'll start this off.
So this is a large concern right now in Ile-Bizarre, Sainte-Geneviève, as well as Pierrefonds-Roxborough. There have been significant floods that caused a lot of damage. And right now, as a metropolis, we are not doing enough to curb greenhouse gases, and that's really inconsistent with a sustainable future for all Montrealers. We need to do a better job to electrify our public transportation, and that to do it for the whole city is around $6 billion. That includes the STM, police, as well as ambulances, and territorial disparities. We need to do a better job of creating more green spaces throughout the island, particularly in low-income neighborhoods. And more importantly, we need a firm and ambitious action plan for whether it's a heat wave, a flood, or anything else that we can actually intervene and solve the crisis when it happens.
Right, Ms. Plante, you have a minute now to talk about flooding.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we know I was the mayor when we went through two of those flooding, and I definitely want to thank all the public security services that were there supporting the families and the people living in the west part of the island. So to prevent those events, what we need to do is to protect the shores. Very important. We also have to save as many green lands as possible. This is why we decided to create the Grand Parc de l'Ouest. It was a way to make sure that we wouldn't develop on the remaining green for lands over there, and to make sure, because they act like a sponge. So when we decide to build on different spots, we need to have in mind, is it going to contribute to the problem, especially in areas like that? So specifically about it, this is what we're seeing. And for the rest, we have this amazing climate plan that we work with experts and the economic sector, and I will be happy to share more about that, because there has to be a solution for every sector.
We're going to talk more about that for sure. Thank you, Ms. Plante. Mr. Coderre.
Thank you, Deborah. I've been living myself also the flood, and I want to pay tribute to Jim Bass and all the gang from Roxborough, Pierrefonds-Roxborough, Fiji. I knew at that time Arut Chitilian, and I met Mr. Le Garec, and I know how you feel. We need a resilience agenda. The resilience agenda is the way that we should react to that situation. And I have to say that the current administration has an issue because Jim was left alone a bit. But at the second time, it's broader than that. It's what are we going to do about the greenhouse impact, the emission. We need to protect, and I salute, because I agree with the Parc de l'Ouest. We've done that with Meadowbrook, and we had some other area. We need to plant more trees, but in some area to fight against the heat islands. And it will have an impact on all, but it's everybody's business, and everybody here, I would suggest, are sensitive about that issue.
Yeah, between the disastrous floods